So we are recording and we are live on Facebook, and I am just waiting for a few of our panelists to join us. We'll say up front that Merry Christmas to everybody out there. I put my Christmas tree right behind me. And this is being recorded. It is live on Facebook, and it will be uploaded to YouTube when we're finished and I get it ready to go up. That's a lot. I'm glad I got that out of the way. We are going to be doing an exercise today, a mental exercise about flexibility enhancement. It's a visualization. And with all the snow on the East Coast, I thought it was very well suited for today. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, good morning.
Oh, there you are. Let me turn you up a little bit. Hi.
Hey.
How you doing?
Merry Sethmas.
Very Sethmas, yes. Missed you last week.
I'm here this week.
Great. So I was just telling people as you were signing on that we're going to be doing a visualization about flexibility. And I think that's very fitting as it's snowing like the dickens here again. So we got 2 feet of snow out front. Wow. Actually, it's out back too. It's everywhere, all around us. 2 feet of snow. And they called for less than an inch today, but now they're upped it from 1 to 3. And it's been snowing since 7 o'clock this morning. So
lucky you.
Yeah. Well, I live in the Northeast. What do you expect? So let's see. I'm out of my chair and I'm gonna walk over to the window. And I don't know.
I mean, lucky you. I missed the snow.
Oh, you missed the snow. Okay. Well, that's what it looks like out front.
Wow.
There. That's what we look like. So yeah, that's my front window. And we have this nice little inn across the street from us. And in the at nighttime, all the little lights in front of the doors are all lit up, and the wreath on the front, and it looks so pretty and Christmassy. So yeah, we've got a lot of snow going on. Oh, and let me get Mickey in here. And whoa, I have a very small room and I'm walking around backwards here. All right, there. Now I can sit again. All right. Hi, Mickey.
Hi, Mickey.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. Did you have a good week?
Intense. Yes, it was good. It was intense, but it was
intense, huh? That seems to be what you've been going through lately.
For some of them out there will know what I'm saying, but in astrology, if you have more than one planet in a spot, it gets very intense. Well, I have a run of them all next to each other that's 8 planets long. So they're all in a clump. Yes. Okay. So this time of year, very intense.
Very intense. Okay. Right. And is it always this time of the year for you?
Yeah, because they're all in my sign. So most of the year, my life is quiet. And then all of a sudden, when here comes November and December, and the whole planetary system goes, oh, yeah, we forgot about you.
Now you get it all.
So we'll just catch up.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. So I don't know my astrology. I mean, I know I'm a Leo. Hi.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Not surprising. Yeah. Okay.
So I know I'm a Leo, but
I have a main.
Yeah. But I don't know what time I was born. So I've never had an actual chart or anything done. So all I know is I'm a Leo. I don't know anything else.
Okay.
I don't know what's rising, what's falling.
Well, at this stage of my life,
I'm a Sagittarius.
Wait, you're Sag. Oh, that's my rising sign.
Sag and Leos get along really well. Actually, I was born on the winter solstice. I was
Were you?
born on the winter solstice, which is like in 2 days.
Tomorrow is winter
Yes,
solstice. It's
yes.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I was born on the early morning, like 12:30 a.m. on between Monday night and Tuesday morning. So from the 21st
So
and
that
22nd.
means you're probably a double Sag. Oh,
With the Capricorn rising, no, with the Capricorn. No, I got a Libra
Capricorn
rising.
rising.
No, not Capricorn rising. On the cusp of Capricorn with a Libra rising.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm more Sag than anything.
Yes, okay. That's also not surprising. Okay. You have to just, send me in a messenger thing, send me your birth information, the time if you know it, and definitely where you were born. And we'll talk.
Oh. See, I know where I was born. I just don't know what time. And I'm
Yeah, the
pretty
time is really crucial,
it is. And I think it was
but
early morning on August 10th, I
that
believe.
would okay. Early morning would
Yeah.
probably make you double anything. Like 6 o'clock in the morning, you're the same sign and the same moon.
Hmm.
So forth and so on.
I
Anyway.
mean, I remember the stories of, I was the firstborn. So,
Hmm.
she got up in the middle of the night. So, I'm sure it was somewhere between midnight and probably 6 o'clock in the
Oh, okay,
morning.
then that's different. And I didn't mean to say the same sun and moon. I mean it when you're born at 6 o'clock in the morning, the horizon is the same place as your sign. So it
Okay.
often makes a person a double whatever.
Hmm.
You know, your
Yeah.
rising sign and your sun sign are the same
Right,
often.
right.
But anyway, it sounds like both of you have very interesting charts. It's an amazing pursuit. And I found that it went very, very well with what Seth was saying in so many instances, but not so much for the coffee table type of astrology. People want to know, um, my sex life, my money life, and my love life, and they're not interested in anything else. But there's 9 other spots and, other facets of life to look at. So when you start to cross over into the spiritual side of what astrology can be about, then that's when it really looks Sethian.
Ah.
All the cycles within a cycle, the layers upon layers of existence, and how they intermesh with each other. And then to discover that all these wheels within a wheel that they're telling you about happen to be driven by you. You can influence the motion of it all. It just sets the tone and says, on this palette today we provided you with white, pink, and green ink. Now what you do with it is up to you. You agreed to those colors. Now what are you going to do with it? So
Mm.
you see, so it's very Sethian. Very.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, I was well, let's see. First of all, I heard from Audrey. She is going to be here, but she's going to be a little bit late. So we'll get
Oh, okay,
started. We
good,
won't do
good.
the exercise till we know she's on.
And Martin?
I haven't heard from Martin. And
Oh,
then I
okay.
asked a new girl to join us today. And of course, she had some plans already, but she said she will join us in the future. And that
Oh,
is Deb Tejada. She's the girl that's doing our website for us.
right,
And she's
right.
also the girl that she did the Leonard book for Mary Dillman. And I don't know exactly what she did. I think she actually published Richie Kendall's book. Now, I don't know
Oh,
if it was just the last one or if it's been a couple of them, but she works really closely with the Seth groups.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna love to talk to her. Oh, excuse me. So I was telling Jeff that we are going to be doing the exercise we're going to be doing is flexibility enhancement. And I I
Oh,
I thought about that one because and it's just in a row. It's the next one. I'm not jumping around. I'm just going in order. And we had 2 feet of snow on Wednesday or Thursday anyway. And Shar and I have been shoveling. She's not here because she hurt her back yesterday.
oh
Yesterday might have
no.
been the day before. So she's been really nursing that. We've had, we we've been shoveling, and it's snowing out there right now. And so you'll have to watch the beginning of this because I put it out in front of the window so you can
Well,
see.
wasn't
snow.
there a front of some kind that was going over and you were expecting that it would cross over you but not dump on you?
It dumped on us.
It did.
It did.
Okay.
It dumped on us. It stalled over Pennsylvania, so we got the
Oh.
backlash. But to the east of us, like an hour east of us, they got 41 inches.
Ah.
Yeah. So I think when I measured out here, I think we ended up with 23. So they got almost as tall as
23
I am.
inches of snow where they're sitting, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
23 inches
23. So you can see it if you
of snow.
watch the beginning of the video, you'll see it's beautiful out there.
Upstate New York.
And today we're getting 3 more inches. So
Oh
it's
my
snowing like
gosh.
crazy out there now. So my body is feeling that I could use this exercise.
Yeah, I can't be in a climate like that anymore. I
Yeah.
used to love it.
Yeah. Well,
'cause I do
yeah.
love New York, but
Yeah. Well,
no,
it's
I had
great
to
in the
leave.
spring and the summer and the fall.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And maybe just seeing this.
Wait a minute, I like snow.
Well,
Yeah,
you're
a
more
lot
than
of people
welcome to
do.
come here.
Well, I'm just saying that, don't count out winter. It's supposed to be snowing this time of the year.
Yeah.
There.
Oh, well, it's
Not
just that
everywhere.
for some
With you
people,
where it's supposed to snow, it's supposed to be snowing this time. It's Christmas.
that extended demonstration of moisture is really horrible for some people, like those of us with arthritis. So.
Yes. Now, this exercise Seth gave to Rupert to help her or him, however
Right.
he addresses,
Yeah. Yeah.
with the arthritis.
Yes.
So I think that whether you're in the snow climate or any age, this can be beneficial. Just the visualization of what you can do. And when I did this one, it was so much like some of the hypnosis meditations I've done that I made this one much more like a hypnosis session. So it might be a little bit deeper, but it'll be a little different than I've done before. So I'm excited about that.
I have gotten the official medical word from my specialist that what you did indeed remove the symptoms that I had.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's official.
So it removed the symptoms.
Well, it removed the problem.
The problem. Okay.
Yeah. And it's interesting because you
Wow.
were doing Reiki healing and I was doing a meditation where I asked that it be removed, that it go. And it's very funny because the symptoms did disappear. I keep saying the symptoms. The condition that we observed was gone.
So
But in its place was something else that was extremely much lighter. It was like, haha, we thought it was this, but it was actually this. It wasn't actually that. It turned into that because we changed.
Okay.
I specifically in the meditation changed every aspect of what it was and said you can turn it into anything else, but this has to go. And sure enough, it officially suddenly morphed into something much more innocuous. I pulled a muscle.
That's wonderful.
And I've never been so happy
to pull a muscle.
A double pulled muscle,
Wow.
So
wonderful. Oh, I love hearing that. Hearing that. And I've been hearing more and more from some people about how the distant healing is working where when they've had healings in person that they really didn't feel anything or sense anything happening. So yeah, I love doing this work.
Well, I had wanted to get a chance for us to chat about it, but we never had in the meantime, and I was waiting also for confirmations of what was really happening. And so I know what really was there originally because I've got x-rays.
And
but
it's gone.
To then go and say, it's completely gone and we made a mistake, a terrible mistake. It was really just a pulled muscle. So I had to laugh because when you did your treatment that evening, what I saw was myself surrounded by a bunch of little, sort of like bubbles, little things around me, little sparkly bubbles. And each one, it was like a little black ball of illness.
Hmm.
And each one, as you started to do your meditation, each one of them got surrounded by this, uh, like a pea green layer around the outside of that, and around that, pink. You see? So, hi, Martin.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
these two layers of brilliant color engulfed every little black circle
Wow.
and just snuffed them out, choked them.
Now I will tell you that, I know people talk about the basic seven chakras, but the higher heart chakra, which to me is Christ consciousness,
Yeah.
that's pink.
Ah. Well,
Ah!
you
Pink.
surrounded each one of these. The
Ah,
syrup just covered every one of those little black spots, and it choked it into the nothingness. They just started to go poof, poof, gone.
wow.
So
Beautiful.
I was waiting to see. When I first saw it in the meditation, I didn't know how to apply what I saw. And then we
Mm,
didn't get a chance for me to ask you about it. So in the meanwhile, the thing was continuing to be, the mystery of it all was
mhm.
continuing to play out. And then I had this
Wow.
consultation with the specialist, and they were all quite dumbfounded. So
I love that. That's wonderful.
so
And that just
that
happened. You
blew
just
my
learned
mind.
that this week,
Um, Tuesday or Wednesday, I
Tuesday.
forget.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Beautiful.
it was hilarious to me to say, okay, so we've morphed this into a pull muscle. Well, fine, I'll take that.
So did you tell the doctors that? They're like, yeah, we took care of that ourselves.
No, I didn't. I've tried discussing these things with them, and they are not interested at all. They just
I,
can't handle it. They
yeah,
cannot
No, it can't.
envision it. The
yeah,
system of thought that's involved in your own, well, personal responsibility on that level is not familiar to them at all. To
right,
say
right.
you create your own reality, it's a level of personal responsibility that I find most people are not willing to even think about.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. They really believe that, you have to see it to
Something
believe
else is
it.
doing it all. I'm not doing
Hmm.
it. I'm a
Right,
victim to
right.
everything.
Mm.
Oh gosh, got to get out of that whole
It's just so,
victim thoughts. Yeah.
crawling out of it can take years.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
once you start the process,
Hmm. And Seth made it so understandable and
yeah,
so easy. And that's why I love this practical Seth talk that we do and
yes.
the exercises that he made. And this exercise we're going to do is so simple. So simple. And he says just about 3 times a week is all you need to do. 10 minutes. It doesn't take very long. It's probably going to take me longer to read what Seth said about it
Hmm.
than to actually do the practice.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. And I'll drag it on a little bit. I'll slow it down a little bit. But you can use the same practice in almost anything you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's an interesting side effect is that the more you are successful, the more you tend to put on the brakes, because the awareness of your ability to influence events, when it's that profound, that awareness is kind of difficult to get used to sometimes.
Yeah. When it's a
Okay. It's
when it's a profound healing though, that's just it's undeniable. Cuz
it
and that's
is.
what
Oh,
happened
it's
to
totally
me.
undeniable.
Hmm.
I'm just saying that the more undeniable it is, the more you really are forced to realize
Yes.
your own profound role in creating this change.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's what gets to be a tickler to take in,
Yeah.
you
I
know.
I I love it though. This is the greatest thing. Once I stopped being a victim and
Yes.
started taking charge of my own life, and that's why I love doing the hypno healing
Yes.
because it puts people in the driver's seat, not me. I'm not doing
Yes.
this. It
Yes.
puts them in the driver's seat.
Yes.
I'm just guiding them to what they already can do.
Yeah.
And that is beautiful.
Fun.
Martin, how you doing?
Good. Yeah, had a busy work week. Of course, it's really busy this time of year.
Of course it is. Everybody's trying to get their last minute shopping done.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is everybody done and ready for Christmas?
No.
No.
I'm
Me
okay.
either. I only have three more gifts to buy and then cookies to make.
Oh yeah, I got a load of cookies to make.
Yeah.
I'm skipping Christmas this year.
That's what we're doing.
Well, we're not going anywhere. This area is really being hit pretty hard by COVID. So everybody is really keeping to themselves. So I'm not even seeing my daughter. We're going to Zoom for Christmas morning. So we'll Zoom together. My sister is going to join us. So actually more family will be together, just not in the same room.
Yeah.
And we all know how wonderful that feels. I mean, I love this.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. Now I
It'll
want
be
to say,
interesting.
I want to say hi to some of the Facebook people. So I see a new name, Despina Hatsi. I hope I'm saying that right, but welcome. And then Jo is on and she said, hi, snow angels. And Crystal Conway is watching with us. So welcome everybody on Facebook. And I do think everybody's here now. How are you,
Hello,
Audrey?
Audrey.
Hi, good.
Hi, Audrey. Hi,
Hi,
Jeff.
everyone.
Hi.
Hey guys.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Hey, Audrey.
Hello.
How did you guys venture for snow, Audrey? We ended up with 23 inches and we're getting 3 more now.
Wow. We got about 9 inches.
9. Okay.
That was enough.
And Jeff, you don't get snow, right?
I don't get snow, but you know what? It's normally warm here. And it's been really cold and rainy and foggy and been doing the fireplace a lot. I got to split some wood today for Christmas and stuff. So.
Oh, that's nice. That
For
sounds
us-
cozy.
And for us in California, it's our winter storm.
So it's damp.
Yeah, about 50 degrees.
Oh God, we would love that. Yesterday when I got up and I started shoveling, it was 5 degrees.
Why don't you have 2 snow blowers?
We do. And one was in the garage and I didn't know where the other one was. And I walked out the back door with the shovel in my hand and I just kind of kept going. So yeah, it was doable. We did most of it with the snow blowers. And then I'm on a main road here and they plow us in and that we just can't do. So I hired a man that had a big snow blower and he did the driveway. Because that's more than 5 feet tall there. It's over my head. Yeah.
God.
And Gloria Graham joined us. Hi, Gloria. She says, hi, Kate. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, Gloria.
Hi.
Welcome. Welcome.
Yeah. So, is there anything else? I saw Ron Card has posted some more information, Mary's friend, Ed. And I think that last week someone brought him up that he also passed away. He was a tremendous Seth reader. And Ron, when he got the stuff from the Hill House, he found photographs from SethNet. I don't know, one of them. Anyway, he found a lot of photographs of Ed and Mary and many of the players. So yeah, that was kind of nice. Look back in time.
Wow.
Now, Jeff, you knew Mary.
I did know Mary Gilman. Yes.
So
Very nice lady.
last week, it's all we did was, it was a tribute to Mary. I don't know if there's anything, and really the only person that knew her, I only met her once, and Oshara knew her, but nobody else that was on actually knew Mary. Do you have anything you would like to say or?
No, well, I mean, we weren't, close friends or anything. I knew her from the Seth community. She was always a speaker at the California Seth conferences. She was very active on Facebook also. and she took care of the Yale archives.
Mm-hmm.
She was
Mm.
kind of like the go-to person for the Seth historian type of information. And I have the videos of the very last California Seth conference. I haven't put them online yet. It kind of got handed down to me.
Mm.
Mary Dillman did a presentation, and she never wanted it to be viewed on YouTube because she was kind of
Oh,
shy.
shy. Yeah. She
Hmm.
was private. Yeah.
So I think now is okay. So
Yeah.
I'll revisit that and see what I can't put together.
Okay.
Thomas
Yeah.
is there. Thomas was there too.
Oh.
So the person who was filming it didn't do the best job, but I think that maybe I can do some magic and after
Ah.
5 years put these lost
Mm-hmm.
conferences online again.
We would love to put them on the Seth House
Mhm.
YouTube. Absolutely. We would love that. I can work with you. Great. Great.
Interesting.
Seems to me that there's bits and pieces of the conferences online anyway. I don't know if they're in their entirety form. I'll try to see, maybe I can, that'll be a New Year's resolution for next year, try to consolidate them all.
Okay.
Mm.
Linda Dahl also was a regular speaker,
Mm-hmm.
and we have her and everything on.
I
video.
never met Linda.
Very nice lady.
Yeah, I've
Very,
never
very
never
nice
even
lady.
spoken to her.
It's strange that you should bring up SethNet because the Seth network was from old Sethies. We're talking about Linda Dahl and everything from maybe 20 years ago or so. And then it kind of got closed or unattended during those unsethy years that I think we all remember. And then Linda revived it, and I was her webmaster with that on SethNet International, SNI. It's since closed also, and she has consolidated all of her work on her Facebook.
Well, I remember when it was closing, and I think I went through and tried to save what I could from it, photographs and some text and whatnot. And that I just tried to keep what I could.
It should still be available on the Wayback Machine on the archive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I haven't looked, but it should be. Everything
Well,
else is there.
they do say anything that's on the internet is always on the internet. It never
It's
goes away.
very strange going through that Wayback Machine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. So has anybody had any great stories to tell this last week or 2 weeks for you, Jeff? I mean, Mickey, yours is great. I mean, the fact that you've had some illness and turns out that they were just all wrong. And
Oops.
proof in the pudding that
Yes.
you did have it, and then
Yes.
it flipped
And
to
it
something very easily fixed, healable.
Mhm.
So that's the way to create your reality. You go, girl.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, you were a big, big, big part of it.
Oh, thank you.
That's
And
that's
I'm
wonderful.
just like a cheerleader. You're the one doing all the work.
It's really cool. It does take a lot of contemplation, internal contemplation.
Mhm.
You have things you have to move around and figure out what to do with. Like if you had doubts of some kind and you now are of a different mind about what you can do, what you can accomplish, then you have to go back and clean all that old stuff out. You don't just suddenly go forward and say, okay, I've changed my mind. And there's
Yep.
stuff left over from it.
Yes.
The way you used to look at things, phrases you used as you thought about yourself or your own condition or whatever, you go in and say, oh, yeah, you change the way you say that and change the way you think that.
Mm-hmm.
You have some house
Yeah.
cleaning to do.
Oh yeah, when I went through my healing, I kept hearing, you can eat some of these foods now. You can, and I'm like, no, I can't. They make me sick. you know, and it probably took me, and it doesn't sound long, about 2 weeks to actually wrap my head around the fact that I really could do this. Like I would eat something and then I would just be like, okay, it's been 15 minutes. Am I going to get sick? You know, and now it's 4 years later, three and a half years later. And that's all. It's only 3 years since I haven't been sick, but you know what? They've been 3 great years. And I am so grateful to everyone that helped me. And it was all Seth teachings. It happened right here in this place. We would do Seth discussion group every week. And between Oshara and the belief busting, so every time I would say something about not being able to eat food or whatever, she'd be right there saying, ah, ah, ah. And then there was a
It helps.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. There was a young man that would come here and he wasn't sick, but he was gaining weight. And he's like, I had to change the way I think about food and the way my body reacts to food. And that really hit home with me because it was about food was my issue too. And once I changed the way I believed my body understood food, it went away. But it took, you know, it was a process, you know, it wasn't an overnight thing. And then you're right, Nikki, changing the past conditioning that I had to feel a certain way, that took longer than the healing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
We have some automatic reactions that we got used to.
Absolutely.
And we have to remember to sweep them out.
Yes. And still with doctors, you know,
get the new script.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, doctors still want to put me back in that old category.
Right.
You know, and I just like, yeah, whatever. So one of the things that I was allergic to was eggs. So now every time somebody wants me to get a shot, I say, oh, no, I'm allergic to eggs. So sometimes I just use it a little bit, you know, it's okay.
That's funny. I'd be afraid to do that for fear of destroying my new belief to the opposite.
No, it doesn't hurt a thing. Because you know what? Because I'm not the one that believes
better.
it. I don't believe it. I only say it to get out of something I don't want to do.
Right. Well, that's good. You've turned it into a tool.
I have. But it really is your beliefs. So if you're saying something and you do not believe it at all, it's not going to hurt. Not at all. No, not at all. And so many of the things that Seth has talked about, I learned when I was learning Reiki. And but I didn't put them together the way I did as Seth taught them. You know, like I would tell people in my classes that, you know, nobody had to, that we do create ourselves and we can heal ourselves. And nobody taught us as a fetus, okay, it's time now to form a little ear and it's time to form the pinky finger. And this is the manual on how to do it. No, we know how to do that. We did that ourselves. We built an entire body that worked. And so why couldn't we heal a little piece that goes awry? Of course we can.
That's very good. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody knows that. And
good way of looking at it. Excellent.
Yes. But I told people this all the time, yet I might have said it, but I don't know that I believed it. It was learning about how important our beliefs are in how our reality is made. That was the connection I was missing. Even though I knew to say these things, the belief I didn't understand. So that's what Seth really helped me with. And that's still excellent. Every day. Yeah.
Yep. That's good stuff.
So what's going on for anybody else? Martin, you're just working a lot.
No.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have it any other way.
Good. Well, you got snow where you are?
No, it's actually warm today. I've got my window wide open.
Oh my gosh. It's freezing here.
Crazy. I know.
So everybody will have to go back and look at the beginning and you'll see what it looks like outside. It's ridiculous amount of snow.
Looks wonderful.
Yeah, we put pictures on Facebook. I said, "Oh, Shara, I look like an elf in that picture." She says, "No, you're cute." I said, "I look like an elf."
Might have something to do with that pointy hat and shoes you wear.
That's right. Yep. And of course, I was wearing a red sweater, and yeah, I looked kind of that way. Too funny.
So I've been dealing with the last major event of the lifetime thing, that's turning 65 and switching everything to Medicare.
Me too.
And being all the bombarded by all the advertising and all the calls. And you know what? It's already been, no, stop. It's already done.
Oh, wow.
And now that the hot weather's over, it's outside time to do all the things outside that I couldn't do in the summertime because it was too hot. So I'm tearing down an old shed is my current project. Other than that, it's just another day. I've decided that I'm retired, even though I retired 3 years ago. I kind of really wasn't. But I'm not going to gainfully employ. I'm not even going to think about it, which is difficult for somebody, even I think from our generation, maybe it was a little different because you have to work or you starve, you know. For people who, like me, who really don't have a family, I've always had to work, and not working is an unknown thought to me that I'm exploring now. I'm going to do all the things I always wanted to do when I retired, like, you know, write poetry and study this and learn that. And so we'll see how it goes.
That's wonderful.
It is.
Yeah.
It took me 7 years to get used to the fact that I had retired.
You know, it's really hard.
I don't know that I'll ever really retire. I mean, I don't work that much, and I work when you know, if a client calls me, you know, we do healing, and now everything is done online, so it's pretty easy, you know. It's a nice, and I could do this forever.
When I say work, I meant, you know, like
a job,
business job, 9 to 5. That,
yeah.
Well,
I still do things on the side, you know.
So in 2012 was last time I had a real job. And then I moved into doing this healing, and then I, you know, opened a store up, and so the store is pretty much, you know, it's curbside pickup if somebody wants sage. That's really all, you know. I mean, there's some rocks left and whatnot, so if somebody calls me and they want to come in, great. But for the most part, how I earn a living is teaching and doing sessions. And with COVID right now, teaching, I can't do any more than 1 or 2 people. So I can't have a whole class. And then now in the spring, I will. Once it gets nice outside, I could put a tent up and we can have, you know, 6 people. And then the healings are over the phone and they're one-on-one. So it's been like this now, and I like it. I like it, and people are enjoying it too. You know, one of the things people would say to me is after they're done with a session, they'll say, "I wish I could just stay here." And I'm like, "Well, you can. You go to sleep. You know, I'll leave you here." But when they have them done and they're home, they're in their own living room or their own bedroom, and they can just, you know, it can be over, and then they can just, you know, go to sleep or, you know, turn on whatever they want to do. So they don't have to go back out and drive. So it's actually, it's more beneficial to people to go through Reiki or hypnosis from their living room or bedroom. You know, it really is. Yeah. So this is all working out, you know, fairly well for me.
Excellent.
Yeah, very
Pretty
nice.
soon you won't need Zoom. You'll be able to do it automatically, telepathy.
Yeah, well, I kind of do that now, Jeff. I don't use Zoom. The only reason I use a telephone is just so people could hear the beginning and the end, and that's if they're uncomfortable. Like with Mickey, you know, I just told her, I said, well, I was waiting until nighttime so that I knew she was in bed, and she fooled me. She was up. And it was a total confirmation because she was
Right.
awake and experiencing this. And I'm like, okay, I just finished. And she's like, I got it. So yeah, it's amazing. It works
It was.
wonderful.
It is a very amazing process.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting point when we discuss it and when you bring it up, especially when you mentioned it, then I can suddenly feel it all again.
Oh, beautiful.
It's a strange little residual triggering.
Nice.
If you want to go back and remember the feeling of it, when you speak of it, it does come back.
Now, one of the treatments when I did in-person stuff and even distant things is I wrap everybody in a golden cocoon.
Mhm.
And that cocoon is a energetic barrier that keeps all energies that don't serve your highest good from penetrating it, but all energies, the love, the peace, compassion, joy, all good energies, they stay close to you. And when I finish the session, I kind of tell you about it. I tell you, remember what you feel like, this peace, this calmness right now, and you can breathe that in anytime you need it. So when I was working with veterans, they told me that one exercise when they were starting to get anxiety, knowing they were going to start a PTSD episode, they could close their eyes, remember the feeling, breathe in that Reiki, and it would stop it.
Yeah.
So, I get that. And it is powerful. Your mind, it's the belief in your mind of what is possible. So all we have to do is give somebody a tool and then they can use it for their benefit.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
The golden cocoon, would that be kind of like a tissue capsule?
Could be an extra one, but it wouldn't be like your own. It would be like an energetic barrier that wraps around you. I love that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So how's your week been, Audrey? Good?
Good, yeah.
Your
Went
niece?
for my walk in the snow. I fell in a drift, but good. It was fun, actually.
Yeah,
Yes.
good.
I almost couldn't get up, but I did.
Good. So is it icy where you are?
No, it was a soft snow.
Okay, good. Fluffy.
Yeah.
I said our banks are so big out front, we can make an igloo.
No, I used to.
Somebody wants to dig it out. Yeah. So our Facebook friends are being very quiet right now. Oh, Charlie just got on. He says, hi, Kate, and all you guys and gals. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and all that jazz. I love
Happy
that.
reindeer.
Just made me think of Liza Minnelli.
Yeah, exactly. The moment you hear those words.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Hi, Charlie. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Oh,
Merry
gosh.
Sethmas.
Sethmas. Yes,
Yeah,
we're
good
not
one.
going to see everybody until
Yes.
afterwards. So yeah. Well, do you think, are y'all ready maybe for the exercise? I think there's going to be a lot to talk about after we do this.
Yeah.
I do.
it.
All right. Charlie says, and that is, and all that jazz. Yeah. All that is and all that jazz. He's so nice. Hi, Charlie. Okay, everybody settle in. Now I'm going to take us a little deeper in this one. So everybody settle into your seats and close your eyes. And we're going to use a 3-to-1 count. So this is something that Bert Goldman taught me. So basically it's going to be you inhale deeply, and then on the exhale, you imagine, you see the number and silently say to yourself, 3, 3, 3. And you get softer each time. And then you do 2, 2, 2, and then 1, 1, 1. Okay. So that's how we're going to start this. So close your eyes and settle in and inhale. And on the exhale, 3, 3, 3. And inhale again. And exhale, 2, 2, 2. And again, inhale. And exhale, 1, 1, 1. Now I would like for you to imagine you are now on the top of a staircase, and we are going to walk down slowly, and you are on the 10th step. Now hold on to the smooth banister as we go down, down, down. 10, 9, going down slowly. 8, 7, deeper and deeper. 6, 5, very good. 4, 3, deeper and deeper. 2, almost at the bottom now. 1. Now notice you are in a room that is cozy and warm with a glowing fire and a soft, stuffed chair. I would like for you to sit and get comfortable in the chair and just listen to my voice as I read Seth's words on flexibility and enhancement visualization. I will then give Rupert some suggestions as to normal living habits that, if followed, will enable him to stay in good health. One of these will be a mental exercise, taking no more than 10 minutes, and if done properly, only 3 times a week, will be of great benefit in keeping joints and muscles loose and free. I should perhaps give you that exercise now. When resting and in a tranquil state of mind, he should simply imagine the limbs slowly stretching out, becoming somewhat longer, and then slowly returning to their original length. He should then imagine the neck revolving easily and normally 3 times in each direction, mentally here doing the yoga neck exercise that he recalls. The lengthening exercise to be emphasized with the arms particularly. The toes and fingers should be visualized as lengthening also, easily and slowly, and then returning to normal position. The joints should be imagined as moving easily. At the same time, he should dwell on the idea of flexibility and freedom, mental, spiritual, psychic, and physical flexibility. And that is the end of the exercise. It would do good also if during the day, occasionally, he imagines the exercise as he goes about his chores. But he should not do this willfully with an intent to command physical performance. The whole thing should be done with a mental lightness, more as if it were a children's game. And he must remember this, for it is the whole point of the procedure. And the potato is effective and highly, the symbolism in holding the potato, you see, is that tensions and poisons pass from the fingers into the potato, which is a root vegetable. It is symbolism, but highly effective for that reason. And for that reason, it does indeed draw out tensions and poisons. Now we will take a few minutes to experience this as a child's game. Let's have some fun while we're together and safe. During this mental exercise, concentrate on the idea of flexibility and freedom, mental, spiritual, psychic, and physical flexibility. Now, while our eyes are closed, and after hearing what Seth said, let's just sit quiet and imagine your neck revolving easily and normally 3 times to the right. And now 3 times to the left. Now easily and slowly imagine your arms lengthening and then returning to normal position. Imagine your fingers lengthening and now returning to normal position. Easily and slowly imagine your spine lengthening with each vertebrae. And now returning to normal position. Easily and slowly imagine your legs lengthening. And now returning to normal position. Imagine your toes lengthening. And now returning to normal position. Imagine all joints moving easily. Your shoulder area, rotator cuff, your elbows, the joints in your fingers, your wrists, your spine starting from your neck and head all the way down to your tailbone. Your hips and hip sockets, your knees, the joints in your toes, and your ankles. Now let's sit with this new feeling of total flexibility for just a few moments. And now it is time to come back to your physical body, totally refreshed and feeling wonderful in every way. So on the count of 3, you will be fully back and ready to resume Seth Talk. 1, you are beginning to emerge, feeling totally relaxed. 2, your mind is clear and alert. Your eyes are starting to open. And 3, eyes wide open, fully awake and feeling fine. Now, I, ask all the Facebook people as well that if you participated in this little exercise, that you put some notes. Did you like it? Is it something that we should definitely continue doing? While we were doing that meditation, Larry Rush joined us. Hi, Larry. Gloria said, wonderful. Thank you. I'm so happy. I feel better. I feel 5'2".
My toes are
I was staying taller.
Beautiful.
My toes actually look longer right now.
I love that. I love
Although
that.
there's too much going on around me. I was in and out.
Well, anytime you want, just put your little headset in and you can listen to this again. So I tried to peek when we started. I think we started at about 1:40. So 40 minutes into the Seth talk. Okay. So about the 40-minute mark is where we started this.
Okay.
Charlie said, loved it. Definitely yes. So, all right, Charlie. Thank you for that feedback.
Really
Jeff,
takes you out.
how'd you do, Jeff?
I have too many distractions around me right now.
All right.
I would like to listen to that, when I'm by myself and in one of those places. Right now, if you
Yes.
see me up and around, I have cats and stuff, and they went
Yeah.
and they went
No.
out.
Yeah.
Like if I ignore them, they'll just sit and meow at me. So
Hmm.
Same for me.
Okay. Mickey, how are you? Are you
Oh, I'm
back?
wonderful. Yes, it was almost instantaneous for me and working very well because that's the same when you mentioned that Goldman with it. That was a very familiar sounding script, and so I just
Yes.
went like an obedient child.
I knew
Bam!
it. I knew it would hit home with you especially. The 3-to-1 count is
Yes.
so simple
Yes.
and it's so effective.
Well, when I was making notes, that that's familiar. That's what I'm snickering about. Oh, that's what I use. And then you said you were at the top of the stairs. Well, that was it. I was done. Because that's it. That's that famous walk down the stairs. And I
Yep.
knew my lab door was right at the bottom of it, so off
Yep.
I went. Off I went.
I
Yes.
love that. I love it.
And I haven't had someone else read that to me in about 30 years.
Wow.
Hmm.
Well, I'm glad it was me.
Yes, I am too.
Yeah, Bert was a wonderful teacher.
Yes.
He is very missed. And the more Seth exercises I've been doing, the more
Mhm.
of Bert Goldman I see. So I
Yes.
wish he were still alive that we could ask him, was he a student of Seth? But
Mhm.
I have to say he probably was.
It's very
it-
interesting.
yeah, it's so similar, and it works together beautifully.
When he came out with that was at the same time when June Graham was around with the Silver Mine organization, and so they were working very closely together. That was very interesting. Yeah. Oh wow, that's amazing stuff. When I
So,
got back, I wasn't sure I was back.
well, I think you look taller to me.
Yeah.
Really? Really?
Yeah. See, at 5'2", nobody would even notice. Now, Martin, if you can't get your shoes on, I'm in big trouble, right?
Yeah.
I have a
I
question.
have huge feet as it
Yes, Mickey.
When you said the 333222111,
Mm-hmm.
when you vision and you say, 333, you'll see the 3.
Yes.
My question is, do you see the 3s on the screen going from the left or from the right?
Oh, you know what? Mine, when I do it, it's like I see the 3 and it fades. It's like in the middle, a 3
Oh,
and
and
it
then you have
fades,
another one.
and a 3 and
Okay.
it fades. So when I do it, that's how I see it.
Now that's an interesting way. I've never
Mm-hmm.
heard that. And that I
Oh,
like that. I
okay.
like that. Yeah.
I don't know that in any of his teachings he said how I would see it. That's what I always see. And it's funny because they're always primary colors. So, but they're not always the same colors, but they're either blue, red, green, or yellow.
Okay.
They're one of those
Interesting.
colors. Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Cool.
I saw the 3 like bouncing down. It's interesting that you
Oh,
followed with a staircase. 'Cause that's
Oh,
exactly
yeah.
the way the 3 twos and ones were going. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. Crystal
Um,
on Facebook said she's been listening, but she can't sit. So she's multitasking, right? Sounds like Audrey and Jeffrey. She'll be back to that 40-minute mark at a later time, though. Great. She wanted to see what we were all saying today. So, it's a free forum. We talk about what comes up. We, except for this exercise, everything is on the fly. There is no set anything. Joe said, yes, Shirley, keep on doing it. Very good exercise. I'm still curling like an octopus through the room. Now that's a visual. That's a visual. Thanks, Joe. Yeah. Nice. I hope everybody enjoys this one. And I really am going to try to do more of these meditations and put them on alone as time permits. And I do have the time. It's just that I have the time, but I have no time. It's like before we know it, it's 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, we were busy all day,
I find myself saying that a lot. It's like, I really don't, how do I not have something that doesn't exist to begin with? It's like I don't have the time, but of course I have the time. I just make more time, but it's.
Yes. Yeah, that's how we are too. And if I just sit down and do it, I do it, but when I finish this, what am I going to do but make cookies, right? There's just always something to keep us busy.
It's interesting in the meditation when you said you're on the 10th step. I already was, because those 3s and 2s and 1s, they put me down the steps already before you mentioned the staircase. So when you said on the 10th step, I already was.
Oh, you were already at the bottom.
It worked out really well. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Nice.
Yeah.
And I've done these where you're walking down a staircase next to a waterfalls or, but I like going into your little room and then, and then from there you can launch to anywhere you want to go.
Yeah.
And I love it that yours is a lab.
I think
Nikki.
there was a Christmas tree in there.
Oh,
Must have been your tree, maybe.
maybe. Maybe.
Yeah.
I just always see a nice, warm, cozy place. And when I'm going down, I always think that I'm going down into my heart space. So when you're going into your heart space and then you're leaving from that space, which and if you think about that Torah bubble that's around us, I think that's where we're leaving from. And that is from your safe space. You're leaving from your heart space with the light. So that's just kind of a go-to for me. Crystal asked a question. She said, since we're in an open forum, is there anything in the information about the significance of twins according to Seth? I tried to find some info briefly, but was unable to. I don't know myself. Did you? So I'm going to suggest go to Finding Seth and putting the word twin in. And it should give every time Seth mentioned the word twin in that search. So you should be able to find the words at that point. But just thinking about it, I don't really remember twin being mentioned.
I knew a pair of twin brothers that were really good friends of mine, that they remembered having a life together in the Middle Ages, and they were just one person then.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's findingseth.com. So it's a search engine website that Chris Galpin put together. So it is on the internet. So in your browser window, type in findingseth.com. Once that comes up, there will be like a little bubble where you could put in a phrase, you can put it in parentheses, or just put in the word twin and then search, and you can choose if you want earliest to latest or most relevant, and it will bring up the results.
I always thought I was a twin. I asked my mother when I was young, was I a twin? Did she lose a child? I always felt like I should have had a twin.
Well, Martin, you were a triplet, right?
Yep, yep, that's correct.
And you have recollection of these siblings?
Yeah, yeah, yep. I've had a lot of indications of that. Yeah. And it's funny, my cousins that are twins, they also had a third one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. So kind of runs in the family.
I
maybe.
guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Mine was
I'm
probably a probable reality where I was
Maybe.
a twin, maybe.
So I just went to Finding Seth and I put in just the word twin. There are 29 references to twins.
Wow.
29 different references. So there's a lot of Googling to, let's see. One of them, Seth speaks, twins, incidentally, almost always involve very deep, abiding psychic relationships of a strong, sometimes obsessive nature. I am speaking now of identical twins. So, yeah. So there is definite talk of twins.
Yeah.
And for anybody that doesn't
And
know about
those-
that website, it is the best place to search any of Seth's words. Now, Jane's books are not indexed in there, so it's only the books that Seth wrote.
You know, I really like Finding Seth because not only does it give you a summary of what you're looking for, it also tells you where in the Seth material,
You
the
can
Seth
find it,
works, you can
yes.
find it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. It gives you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
My latest Seth terminology is mental enzymes that I'm currently researching.
Now, what is mental enzymes? You've mentioned it before.
That's why I was just on Finding Seth, and I'm going to start exploring it again. And I'll let you know next week.
Okay, all right.
It's one of those Seth terms that seems to be in the early sessions, like a tissue capsule
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
that we don't hear as much about because we hear about everything else. I still
Yeah.
would like to do a book study with the early sessions.
I would
Maybe we
too.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Maybe we
too.
could
I
do
think,
one online
yeah, I think
with Facebook.
I love those books. The exercise I did today was from book 9 of the early sessions, and it was
Oh.
session 456. Now, we went and purchased all of the books. So now we have all of the personal sessions, all of the deleted sessions, or the early sessions and the personal sessions. They have not arrived yet, but we got a note from Rick that they sent them out. I think the snowstorm probably is holding everything up right now, but we will have all of the books so that we can actually research what we need.
It would be nice to just have all the sessions that were ever sessioned from
In
one
order?
in order.
I think that's a great idea too.
Oh, yes.
Yep, I think that's a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rana Wasim is watching with us now. Hi, Rana. Raina. I don't know how to say your name.
Both pretty names.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
either way.
For sure.
Yeah.
And Crystal is checking out Finding Seth. Yes, there are 9 books in the early sessions. And I think there's, God, I don't remember the personal sessions, how many there are. 5 or 6. But definitely 9 of the early sessions. So soon I'll be moving into other books for these exercises.
I thought one thing that was really interesting about the friends of mine that were twins, they said when they remembered how they died in that lifetime too, that they had been beheaded.
Oh.
And
Ooh.
each one remembered it differently. One saw, one experienced his head being cut off, and the other one, his experience was simply rolling around, seeing the world spin, the ground spinning around as he was.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy, but that was a very strong memory for both of them, and it was the same person. So maybe that's when they became twins, they said.
Oh, wow.
Because they
I'm not
both
understanding.
became
You
oriented.
you had friends who were twins, and they're
Yeah,
remembering when they were not twins, when they were
yeah,
one person.
they remembered a life that they had in the Middle Ages when they were a single person.
Ah, yes.
But
Okay.
they both
Yeah,
remembered
and in
being that single person.
Right.
that same
Yeah.
person. Yep.
Wow.
That's way interesting.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Now, here I said those exercises were almost at the end of the early sessions, but there's still 9 more exercises in those sessions.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think Seth there was so much teaching happening before he started writing Seth Speaks, because as soon as the 9th book was over, he jumped right into Seth Speaks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it goes from book 9 to Seth Speaks.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm thinking back to when, I was so young and I ran in and I got Seth Speaks and I was so, because I just read the Seth material and waited for Seth Speaks. And to consider that there were actually 9 books worth of material before the point where the Seth Speaks hits the stand.
Well, not only that, but the personal sessions were mixed in there too.
Yes, yes.
I don't know where, because those are the ones, we don't have many of them. We were only missing one of the personal sessions. I think book 7 we were missing. But the of the early sessions, the personal sessions, we don't have. We have a couple of those books. They're hard to find, so we just ordered them from Rick, and just waiting for them to get here.
Their lives must have been unbelievably intense.
And they only did 2 sessions a week, and then the ESP class once a week. So 3 days were devoted to Seth channeling, and the rest of the time were devoted to transcribing the notes and getting them ready for publishing, or making copies, that kind of work. And then there was, in the early days, they both had
Painting.
jobs. Well,
Yes.
no, they both actually worked.
Yes,
She
yes.
was an Avon representative at one point.
Holy cow.
I know.
I didn't know that.
She sold Avon for a while, and then she worked as I'm not exactly sure what she did, but she worked at the Arnott Art Museum. And the people, we spoke to the people there, and they know where her office was, and they actually wanted to do in 2021, they wanted to do a gallery showing of Jane and Rob's work. And of course, everything, got stopped. I don't even know that it's open right now, but we spoke with the people there. They were very excited about doing a special showing of the Jane and Rob artwork.
Well, hopefully it's just postponed.
It absolutely is. And you know what? If we had done it, Ron just unearthed all this new artwork that was all original, that has never been seen the light of day. So, when the time comes, there's so much more to add to it. Yeah. Yep.
It's as if
Maybe
the
that's
material.
why it had to.
Yes.
It's had a gestation period, and now it's all being so burgeoning forth into the world, and on a big scale, and it's like a whole new phase of the whole thing, the manifestation of it. It's
Yeah.
Who knew?
Right. Now, there is a local historian that reached out to us. We just sent a newsletter out. So please, if somebody's listening and they're not getting our newsletters and you did sign up for it, check your spam, because we're hearing that a lot of people aren't getting the newsletters. But if you didn't sign up for it, then go to the website and please do sign up for it. We don't send many out, but this last one we sent out, a local historian saw it and he contacted us. He wants to do Elmira's hidden treasures. And so he wants to, he doesn't want to make it Halloweeny or, most people want to, do that. But we're really, want to show them the significance of such a wonderful body of work that was put together in one of the worst looking houses in Elmira, and how, a group of people are trying to restore it and make it a beautiful place to be. Now, it is looking like we are going to also procure apartment 4, and that is the other one they lived in. So we will have both of their apartments after the first of the year. So I'm very, very excited about that. We had a donation that covers the rent for that apartment, for 2 apartments. So
Wonderful.
and well, yeah. So we're very, very excited. So for the next year, we're safe on keeping that apartment.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. We have some wonderful people that are so supportive of this work, and having local people put it on their website, or I don't exactly know how he's going to promote this, but it is a hidden treasure. It is the most hidden treasure in absolute plain sight. And it's an eyesore at that.
Yeah.
It's an eyesore. Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's see. Gloria said, does Seth recap or repeat some early sessions in Seth Speaks? I don't think so. And I haven't read all of the early sessions. I think Seth Speaks is a body of work all on its own. The Seth material recaps a lot of the early stuff from the early sessions. But I think when Seth decided to write Seth Speaks, it was all new material. What do you guys think?
I think that each book is a work unto itself, with a beginning and an end.
Yeah. Seth
I think
Speaks to
they
me.
were channeled that way.
Yeah. I mean, Seth Speaks to me is more a global, big way of looking things. The nature of personal reality was how you can individually change your life. Yeah.
They were kind of like the intro to the Seth. When I say the Seth material, I mean the whole body of work, not just the book, the Seth material. I think that Seth Speaks and the nature personal reality were jumping off points for people who wanted to go further into it, and they all have tentacles and other thoughts and ideas, and so. Because I know many people haven't read all the books; they just read the books that call to them.
Mhm.
And you can just open up any of the books to any page, and it is going to be relevant to whatever you need. And that is absolutely uncanny.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't think I've read any of the books from beginning to end. I think it was all jumping around.
Oh,
You would find one thing and reference it, and then go back and forth and back. And I don't know. Maybe it's just the way my mind organizes things. I don't know.
Now
Most Sethies I know have multiple, after they get into it, have multiple books open and jumping between. Yeah.
Yeah, I certainly do that, but I have read quite a few of the books from beginning to end.
That's so funny.
Probably more of them are Jane's books.
I've read every one of them from beginning to end, and then sit and wait for the next one to be published. Beginning to
I did
end.
do that. I remember looking at the inside cover to see if there were any new ones. Yeah, I remember.
Now, 2 books I just couldn't finish. One was Way Towards Health.
Me too.
I was not able to finish that one. And the other one was Mass Events.
Yeah.
I got so far in that one, and I'm like, I just I started reading it when COVID started, and I thought, well, this will be relevant, and I just couldn't finish it.
You
Well,
know,
wait.
that's interesting because our community, our Bay Area Seth group is reading The Nature of Mass Events, and it had totally escaped my memory that that's where Framework 1 and Framework 2 was introduced. And there's a
Oh.
lot of information on Framework 1 and Framework 2 in there. So.
Now on Facebook, Joe is answering Audrey. She says, "Hi, Audrey. Maybe my story gives you an idea if you felt you missed one. I always felt as a child that I wanted a sister or brother, but my mother had me at 45, so I knew that would not happen. When I was 18, a surgeon removed swelling from my lower back, and he said that it had been the beginning of my twin. Then in my
Oh.
50s, I discovered her. She came in my dream wearing the same clothes, saying, 'I am a daughter of our mother too.' Since then, we've had great contact. Hetty, she must have named her Hetty, helps me and others
Oh.
from the other side." Oh, how
Wow.
beautiful.
Mhm.
I had
Oh my.
3 sisters, but still felt there
There
was
was
somebody
something.
missing.
Yeah. Well, a twin is always going to be the closest to you. Joe said, "So Crystal, maybe my story gives you an idea about the great significance of twins." Um,
Mm.
Gloria said, "Good to know, thanks." And then she is now into Jane's bio, The God of Jane, and she's looking forward to reading that one. I have not read. I do have The God of Jane. I have not read that one either.
Mhm.
I'm still working on, I don't remember the name of it. It's sitting over there. I can't see it from where I am. And I have not read Unknown Reality yet. I need to read those two. Yeah, no, I haven't. I remember when
Oh boy.
I first met Oshara, she says, "Kate," she goes, "you're ready for that one." She says, "Just skip over these two. We'll do these together. You need to read that one." So I ordered them, and I have not read them still.
Holy cow. I
Just
can't
not
wait.
time yet. Not time yet.
I
It'll
can't wait
happen.
to hear your thoughts when you get into that, because that's when I really took off into, okay, I'm going to have a different life. I'm going to be different. You know, it's so revelatory that it changes your view of everything.
Well,
Everything.
I really like the William James book also.
I couldn't read that. I've tried and tried. I think it's great that you can.
The After Death Journal of an American Philosopher, William James. Yeah, I thought it was very interesting.
Now, that book is referenced in the trilogy there. Why can't I think of it?
Oversoul 7.
Oversoul 7, yes.
7.
That, it's referenced there. And yeah. And I love the references to the local places, like the references in that book of the Red Brick House. They don't mention the Seth House itself, but they mention things in that 2-block area. The Psych Center is in there, and so, and it's like one day when I go to physical therapy where I park, the Psych Center is right across the parking lot, and I'm like, oh, that's where Oversoul 7 was. It's just very cool being in the town and seeing the things that they talked about. And they talked about being at Langdon Plaza, or we do the same stuff. Yeah. Yeah, there's so many references in the Jane books, not in Seth's books, but Jane has references to the local places.
Yeah.
And then I try to figure out what restaurant were they really in.
It's really strange considering that Jane channeled the Seth books. I really don't get into Jane's books or her poetry. I read them, but doesn't have the same draw to me that the Seth books do.
The Oversoul 7, I think, was one of the most
Yeah.
significant that I read.
Mhm.
And you know, I look at the Jane books and I definitely feel they're Seth inspired. And it's a way that she maybe even in her own mind solidified what the teachings were, how time worked, how, you know, the different concepts worked. And she put them into a storyline that her brain could understand, in turn, you know, helped us understand it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No,
I
I'm
did love the
wondering.
Oversoul 7 trilogy is exceptional, and I still say they should make it an ongoing TV series out of it.
Oh, I would love to see that. And you could just keep going on and on and on.
Well, this is a show, Doctor Who. They could do something like that on that show.
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
know if any of you are Whovians.
I'm just becoming such. Just becoming
Yeah,
such, because
yeah,
the latest one is a woman.
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
Dr. Her.
ah. Now, Gloria just said she finds Jane's writing easier to comprehend than Seth's at times.
Oh.
And I get that too.
Mm.
I was thinking, where Seth said that they would have 40 years together.
Yeah.
Well, if they had only one session a day, then yeah, it would stretch over 40 years. Maybe that's how they got it all into, by having 2 sessions a week. Maybe that's how it was done.
I'm not sure that he got everything through. I think in some of the later
Hmm.
sessions, when Jane started getting quite sick, that Seth, I could be wrong here, but I do believe he said that he had to pick the most important things to get through because there wasn't enough time.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
see, Seth gets stuck on time too.
Well, when he's working with these darn humans, what are you going to
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'd love to
Hmm.
see what the Seth movement is about, given say 300 or 400 years from now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Looking back on it and what its impact was
And
eventually.
yeah. Well, and let's just say in 2075, what's it going to be like then? You know, we don't even have to go a
Yeah.
couple hundred years. We're just it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the past 50 years, how much things have changed since Seth said the words. It's kind of amazing.
Hmm.
Has it been 50 years? Tell me it hasn't been 50
I
years.
think it has been a little bit more than that. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so scary.
Yeah. I mean, they started in 1963, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same year I started.
Oh, yeah. So it's been what, 57 years, right?
Yeah.
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 Since the beginning.
Wow.
Hmm.
I was a teenager.
Ah, wow.
And who would have thunk in the 60s, even in the 70s, how religions have changed, how,
Hmm.
like, I
Mm.
remember when I moved to this town, it was 1983. Jane was still alive then. I didn't
Hmm.
know anything about the Seth material, but I was living in this town, and there was, I want to say there must have been 7 Catholic churches in Elmira, and I think
Mm.
there's 2 left, and they've
Wow.
all consolidated. And so many, and there were 2 synagogues, and the people would come here from at least an hour away, because there were, I mean, it was either here or you had to go to like Scranton, Wilkes-Barre for the people in Pennsylvania. So we had a big draw of the Jewish community that would come here from the Pennsylvania region. And then, of course, Binghamton had their own, but I don't think Corning ever had a synagogue. So there were 2 here. Now there's only 1. They've consolidated them too. So,
Mhm.
you know, is it because people aren't following? They just don't show up to services? Like, I don't really know what the answers are. I mean, I see more of what's wrong with the Catholics with, the pedophilia and just people are shying away from, and now with
Hypocrisy.
COVID, they're shying away from all kinds of groups. So what's going to happen with something like this virus with any group gathering? It's just less and less.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't even imagine thinking this way in the 1970s.
Right.
I couldn't have imagined back in the 80s when I was reading the Seth material for the first time that I would be talking to people from the Seth house, that I would know people who went to see, be part of Jane's
Exactly.
classes, and all the
Exactly.
it would blows my mind.
Yeah.
I agree. I was in it and I agree.
Well, you never attended a class. You did get to talk to Jane. That
No,
was
I
that
went
was
to
nice.
no,
You
I
went
went
to
to
Rick's
classes
class.
of the people who went to her classes.
Right.
And the idea that in my dotage, I would be sitting up talking to people about it is hilarious.
So Gloria says it's mentioned somewhere that there are probable realities where they did have more than 40 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that
That's what
tells
Ron
me
has,
that
yeah.
that information is out there for us all to access
Mm-hmm.
in one way or another,
Yeah.
because we have access to all those realities. Well, I didn't plug my computer in, so I'm going to put myself on mute and stop my video while I go run and get electric cords. But you guys keep going, okay?
Okay.
So, is there an update on somebody was supposed to find a lost Jane video in
That's
some
me.
archives somewhere? Is there an update on that?
They're closed still.
Oh,
Yeah.
Boston College.
Like so
in
many.
college.
Yep. And they'll get to each request as they came in when they open. I'm not even sure it's Jane. It just said psychic on it, but it's worth checking into.
Yeah.
Sean saw Jane Roberts on it, but when I checked, it just said psychic. But we'll find out one day.
That's very
Yeah.
interesting.
When the information wants to be revealed, it will find a way to come to us.
Right.
Exactly.
Whether it's found in somebody's basement or attic or on some forgotten hard drive.
Mhm.
Interesting how it's all coming out in drips and drabs, and it's being put out there.
But are we creating it to come out? I don't know. That's interesting. Are
We
we
must be.
coaxing it? Are
We
we
must
coaxing it out?
Yeah, we must be, because if not, it wouldn't happen. It's being created by someone. Someone's.
Maybe it's constantly being created and we're just drawing it out. I don't
Well,
know.
in terms of what was mentioned earlier, that there are probable selves where the information did eventually materialize after a 40-year association. Those realities would also exist. And so for that information to be available in the universe, then yeah, we could access it. There are probable selves of each of us that may have access to what happened with that version of events. So the information itself is accessible by millions and millions of other versions of souls.
Yeah. Yeah, I think all these ideas are out there
Mm-hmm.
right now. I mean, there are people talking about them that are accessing them. So it's kind of, you can tune into it that way also. Yeah.
It's fascinating. And it's so brilliant to me, the way reality is set up is just brilliant.
Absolutely. And that's what I said about Bert Goldman. He may not have ever read Seth material, but he may have been so tuned in that he's got some of the probable reality information that was out there, and he just tapped into very similar storyline.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Unbelievable. I just think the whole thing is so profound and beautiful. It's when you run into it, you can't turn away from it.
The thing is it's just so good. There is
Yes.
there's nothing in it that is scary, that is
Right.
not absolute self-affirming, beautiful information of how important and special we each are.
Yeah.
And that, and I know somebody said this, it was on Facebook not too long ago. I have no idea who referenced it, but without each one of us, all that is would not be the same.
Right.
So we're all necessary, the good and the bad and the in between. All that it is needs each part. And what is it? That one quote is, the universe loves itself and all its parts.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say it all the time too. All that is wouldn't be all that is without you.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Another T-shirt.
You and Jeff are going to go into business together,
Yeah.
aren't you?
Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah.
retired.
So you think?
We'll see. We should make up some T-shirts, and you can do a merch store online for the Seth House.
There you go.
Yeah.
Charlie just says, what if we write a new Christmas classic by Seth Dickens?
Oh.
That's cool.
Call it Merry Sethmas.
You were talking about the scary stuff, and there is some really scary stuff. I actually read and studied the Castaneda materials
Oh yeah.
before I
Me
ever
too.
encountered Seth.
Yeah. Me too.
So, yeah,
That
that's
was
mind blowing
fascinating.
also, but in a very different way.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, the whole
yeah.
idea of shamanic entry and research into the life process, it's all the same stuff from a different angle.
It
Yeah.
is.
You know,
It
I can
is.
see the two things together very easily.
Yeah,
It's just being two people sitting in a room, each one talking about their version of what the book that's on the table or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it.
Yep. Charlie says, with the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future merged into the ghost of the simultaneous present.
Hello.
The ghost of the spacious present. He has got quite an imagination. Charlie. And I think Charlie's going to be helping us on the website with a little bit of the video stuff. So, I'm just going to say thanks, Charlie. Deb, is going to ask, I don't know if she asked him or not, but Deb's going to ask you to help. Joe loved Castaneda Martin. And Charlie said I'm saying he's going to help us, and he's saying thank you, Kate. Oh, and he's glad to help. I'm so happy because I don't know how to do it. He does video work.
Looks like 2021 is going to really be packed with projects.
Oh, ours are just expanding. They're just getting bigger and bigger. So I think about apartment 4, and what we've always dreamed of it is being the library, the place to research. So looking at, tables, and more like library tables, bigger tables with chairs and stuff. Maybe some overstuffed chairs where it's cozy, but bookshelves, like bookshelves. That is a 1-bedroom apartment, and it's set up so weird. you walk into the living room, and then there's this little nook where Jane used to keep books and stuff, but I think the people that live there now use it like a food pantry.
Mm-hmm.
And then the window straight ahead of you looks at the red brick house, so it's looking east. And then to the left, you have the kitchen, which was a porch, which is sinking down.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're closer to the door and you go to the left, you go into a bathroom, and you have to go through the bathroom to get to the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think we would like to use it, not have a bedroom set up there, but another study room. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And I think we would go back to Jane's idea of using the pantry as, for books. And it's a nice big room. It's,
Mhm.
so it's kind of like a living, dining, eating area right now where people are living. But and the guy that's living there, he's been renovating it himself, so it's nice. It's not one that's filthy, thank God, but he's moving downstairs into apartment 2, which is filthy and dog poop, and it was the worst smelling apartment in the building. So
Oh.
we're so grateful that guy has moved out, and this new guy well, he's not a new guy, but he's moving down there, and he's somebody that keeps things clean, and he wants to renovate, so we're very
That's
pleased.
awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
He's doing it
Mm-hmm.
ahead of you.
He is. I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
the landlord did put in new vinyl windows downstairs in that apartment where he's moving into. So little by little, renovations are being done, and
Mm-hmm.
we're not really paying for them yet. I mean, yes, we pay for the rent to keep the apartments.
Mhm.
And gosh, in the last year, I want to say Ron Card is the only person that has slept in apartment 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's good though. That's good.
Yeah. He can anytime he wants, and you guys are all welcome too. Yeah, I think everybody should spend a night in apartment 5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have a sleepover sometime.
absolutely. As soon as we can do all that.
Yeah.
Now, Mickey, I wanted to ask you about, so we've been hearing a lot about this new strain of COVID that
Yeah.
is in your area. And it's now, I heard Scotland is being closed down, and they're not even allowing England over. No
You can't.
cross-border
Yeah,
stuff.
you can't cross from Scotland into England or vice versa. The
Wow.
the down part of lockdown is becoming very, very much the mode, you know.
So
Um,
this new strain, do they
I
think that this inoculation, this vaccine they're coming up with, do they think that that's going to stop that?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Like as of an evening, we sit here and we'll go through the local news and then the national news. And I don't know yet because on a Sunday, you're not getting as much of coverage,
Mm-hmm.
the whole little weekend local thing, kind of.
Okay.
But I don't know yet. And it'll be interesting to see. My heart just drooped when I heard that there was a new strain.
Right, but viruses definitely mutate. We know that.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
does it all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
we kind of expected
I
that.
had heard that it was going to happen.
Yes, but the human body also knows how to handle those
Hmm.
mutations, and that's the thing that us Sethi people, we know that our bodies are so smart that we actually need all this virus and bacteria, and that's what keeps us strong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand
So,
that.
yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. I don't have much information yet, but I'll be stocking up on
Yeah,
such
yeah,
this evening.
let us know. I mean, because I don't always know what news to believe.
Right.
What are we hearing, and when I'm hearing it in different countries, and it's
Hmm.
coming from inside the country, I don't know if I'm really listening to something that is,
Well, I think
qualified
that
good.
something really spooked the governing facilities of the country, I think. Um, I know that Boris Johnson wanted very much to be able to preserve Christmas. It was very important to him to be able to say that he hadn't shut down Christmas. And he even said so early on. But we get down to where he said, okay, you can have 5 days and it'll be, with your little pod and your certain number of relatives and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, he could, I mean, there was no dithering. He just came out and said, nope, we're going to have to change that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, considering how long it took him to put his foot down on anything else ever, that kind of movement from him on a subject to backtrack is an indication that something's very serious. Something happened that has caused them all to go, what? And I know that people are pissed off. I know that they're talking a lot of crap about it. And, no, you can't tell me what to do. How dare you? You told me we could do it. And now you say we can't. I look behind that and I want to know what was so heavy that you didn't even care about the backlash. Because the first thing a politician considers is, oh, they're going to hate me for this.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, that man spun around and did a 180 so fast and took back the thing he had offered to gain points. He suddenly backtracked on it. And then it was only after they'd done that then you even heard about there being another strain.
Mm.
So something is causing them to all be extremely more careful.
Yeah. And I do think that the politicians, the powers that be, have this information long before we know about it. So for us, they're saying it was early March. I think it probably was more like January, or maybe even earlier than January.
December. Yeah.
I've heard earlier.
Yeah.
In
I
my,
have too.
in my humble opinion, and I will always say this and then I will let it go, I believe that it's a bioweapon and it was intentional. And that's all I have to say.
Mm. Now,
I don't.
it wasn't hitting home to me how, it was one of those things, is it real? Is it not real? What are we doing? And then with the passing of Mary and learning that it was COVID, it really changed the way I looked at things. It made it more like, it brought it home. And I now know several people that have it, and they started out like your grandson, very healthy. So the families are doing okay. But I know 2 entire families where every member has it in the family, in the house. I mean, both of them have children. So it's like the husband and the wife and the 2 little girls, and which I think are probably around 7 and 8. And then the other family is a husband and wife and a daughter. I don't know how old the daughter is. But, everybody in the household has it. They have not all tested positive though, but they're all fairly healthy. When someone gets it that is already at a compromised place, I think that's when it's so dangerous. But I didn't really realize that until just recently. It just became very real, very fast. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Having people
operating.
in New York, I believed it a long time ago.
Yeah. New Yorker.
Yeah.
Hey, what about all those people leaving New York? At least
I
I'm
was one of
hearing,
them.
at least I'm hearing about that. Is that true or not true?
Not my family. I don't know.
I think that's a constant.
Yeah.
That's a constant. That's called life in New York. People leave in droves and
I
then they
don't know.
come
They're
in waves.
They're leaving California. The big players are leaving California. We're
Oh,
talking
really?
about Tesla is leaving, going to
Where?
Texas.
Oh.
Going to
Yeah,
Texas.
Texas.
Going to Texas.
Okay.
A lot of the big players are leaving.
Well, I mean,
That's what they do.
as far as the virus goes, I know, and I believe what Seth says, that nobody leaves this world unless they want to leave and they're ready to leave.
So
And
so
yeah.
I'll ask to get the vaccination or not.
Not me.
I totally don't. I
I don't.
totally don't trust it.
No.
Mm.
I think if I know that New York is really pushing for trust, and I think that there's two ways of thinking about it. They've really rushed this through, so can we trust that? And then if they have more time, can we trust that they didn't put anything else in it? So whether they're hurrying it
Yeah,
through
there
or
you go.
taking their time, I have two, and I don't like vaccinations at all. I don't.
Yeah, I don't get the flu shot. So.
Nope, I don't
No,
either.
I don't
And
either.
I've never had the flu.
Me
I
either.
mean, never had it.
Well, this year was the first time we've ever gotten the flu shot, but we got it because of our jeopardy where the other thing is concerned. So
mhm.
the doctor explained that he didn't want us to have to fight two things.
Right,
So
right.
I always fight the doc. They fight me on it, but
yeah, they've learned that
They
we
do.
didn't want anything to do with it. They knew, that little old couple,
yeah.
her with the weird hair, that American with the strange hair. So,
Oh,
but they did see to it that we had been well explained why they thought that we should do that.
Yeah.
And so, under the circumstances, I could understand what was being said,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now,
especially Jack's case. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm healthy. I just wasn't worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
That may not be the case someday, but right now that's where
Mm-hmm.
I'm at. Gloria asked, what does Seth say about pandemics in Mass Events book? Anybody remember? I mean, I know that Seth said that together we create certain events to happen because of whatever reason. So I don't know what would have created an event like this. And I heard what Jeff said, and that could very well be. I've heard different clips on YouTube where the lady that worked in what was it, North Carolina, I think, and she said it was created. And Dr.
I
Fauci.
definitely believe it was created.
Yeah.
Whether it got loose by accident or on purpose, I don't know.
I believe it is definitely a man-made thing, that it is not a natural occurring
I
thing.
agree with that. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a totally different theory about how it works, so, but I won't get into that because it's very controversial.
So what did Seth say about pandemics?
I would like to comment on that because I'm currently reading that book, and there's no simple what does Seth say on it. If you want a summary, look up pandemics on Finding Seth, because there's a whole book devoted to it. And to break it down in just 2 or 3 sentences, I don't think can be done easily.
And is most of, if we were to put it in Finding Seth, is most of the information in Mass Events?
I don't know. It's a good thing. Put in
Okay.
pandemics on Finding Seth and see what pops out.
Okay.
I mean, everybody has to deal with it in their own way, and I can't tell people how to live their lives. I just don't want them telling me how to live mine.
Exactly. Right. Right.
And I have a very elderly mother in her 80s, and she has like 20% of her heart, and she's just a total rebel. She won't wear a mask. She goes wherever she wants. She does whatever she wants. And nobody's worried about her. I'm not worried about her. I mean,
That's funny.
so, yeah. Yeah.
She's just a rebel. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh my God, look at what time it is. We have
Yeah, I
got
just
what,
saw it.
5-7 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been this has been full of a lot of information. I do think that people today are using the whole COVID thing as an exit point to exit during a big event. And I know that that's happened in the past, and I think that that's happening now.
It's an interesting one things I find interesting is that the overall death rate for the United States is less than what it was last year.
Is it really? I did not know that.
Yeah. That's
wow.
true. Yeah.
Well, We must be so healthy because we're all staying inside and we're not getting anything else.
Well, that's what they say. The flu is practically non-existent this year. So
Good.
far.
Yeah,
Good.
nobody's dying from the flu or pneumonia this year. It's amazing.
Wow. Well, I don't know. I don't know that I would like to be inside all the time for the rest of my life.
No.
But I can't.
Mhm.
But I don't think it's a tremendous hardship either. I mean, Christmas is going to be a
No.
little sad because I'm not with my family, but we'll Zoom together, so that'll be okay. Is that what you guys are going to do, Mickey?
Yes, to an extent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we will be totally isolated. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You and Jack.
Yes, and I think that I'm not putting a lot of faith in being able to Zoom because the whole world plans to. So
Well, you could be right there. Yeah,
You
I
see,
didn't. I
so-
did not think about that.
Might have to drag Skype back out again.
yeah, it's going to be very, very overloaded. So I'm not sure what'll happen. I know that during Thanksgiving, I couldn't call anywhere in the United States at all.
Wow.
And I
Okay.
kept seeing people on Facebook talking to each other, about how they were doing this and Zooming that and blah, blah, blah over Thanksgiving. But you couldn't reach them by phone from outside the United States.
Oh, okay.
So
But you
at
could
least
Zoom with them if you use the internet.
I couldn't.
You
You
couldn't.
had
Oh.
the signal was just crap. So
Oh.
that's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
It was so overloaded that it may have had to do with the fact that Thanksgiving was a distinctly American thing. So in America, it was all crowded up, but the rest of the world had no problem. It was business as usual.
Right.
You see. So, but in
Hmm.
terms of trying to reach anybody in America, forget it.
Wow. So I wonder what Christmas it will be like. Well,
Exactly.
we'll have to test that out.
Exactly.
We're not going anywhere. We're
Yeah,
just
my
going to be home
cousin-
here, so we can Zoom.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna be at home, so
Yeah.
we'll see
Like-
how that goes. And Jack's birthday, his 90th birthday is 2 days later.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so I'm hoping that if we can't reach anybody on Christmas Day, maybe by 2 days later we can talk to folks.
Right. Yeah.
That'll be good.
I found it interesting that my cousins down in Colombia in South America, they were celebrating Thanksgiving. It's American holiday. It's a
Really?
holiday from here, but they were celebrating it down there. Yeah.
Oh,
And they're not
Very
from here. They were
strange.
born and raised there.
Yeah, they
Wow.
Yeah.
didn't have
Wow.
Kind
pilgrims.
of a novelty thing for them to do.
I think people just like
That's kinda cool.
holidays.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was a very
Yeah.
quick 2 hours, wasn't it?
It was. It was really nice, though.
Yeah,
We covered
very.
a lot of ground, and yeah, I love that meditation, and I really needed it with all the shoveling and stuff that we've been doing. And I just got my new brace. I got it Tuesday, right before the snow hit. So my new brace is really good. It's keeping my legs straight, and I'm still going through physical therapy.
That's excellent.
Yeah. So we're getting stronger and stronger every day. I am not ready for exit strategy at all. You know,
Yeah,
I may be sitting still, but I'm not sitting still.
exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
I'm
I agree.
still just as active as ever, just in a different way.
Hmm.
Charlie said, "Thank you, Kate and everyone." Gloria saying thanks and bye for now. So it is time to say bye-bye. And I'm, from the Seth house, from me and Oshara, Merry Christmas, everyone. We will see you next week before New Year's. So we'll worry about saying Happy New Year's later. But, thanks, everybody. I appreciate all of you on Facebook. And God, I love you, Group U4. Thank you for being here every week.
Ho,
Thank
ho,
you.
ho.
Ho, ho,
Merry
ho.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Stay
Yeah.
safe, everybody. Bye-bye.
Merry
Bye-bye.
Christmas.